Hello everybody. Well, a very warm welcome then. Everton take on Newcastle Jets in the Westie TV Champions League qualifiers. Hill Dickinson hosts a big tournament night as Everton look to stride towards the Westie TV Champions League proper. The first time we've ever featured Everton here on Westie TV, and the first time we've ever seen the Newcastle Jets play here too. The Australian champions play the best team on Merseyside. Well, it's singled out Dewsbury Hall tonight, the AI. Interesting one. There are players who have just come back off the World Cup, and Brighton were still waiting for players to return the other day, but Pickford rushed back in to come and try and stride into the Westie TV Champions League proper. The nights you don't want to miss. I'll tell you what, this is a big night for these players, this team, and well, Everton then. Pickford starts in goal. Mykolenko, Braithwaite, Tarkowski and O'Brien, Garner, Guay, and Dye, Dewsbury Hall, McNeil and Tierno Barry starts up front. Q comes to the bench then. Alcaraz, Roll, Armstrong, Keane, Patterson and Travers. The big night for David Moyes and his team. Well, keep an eye for Shaughnessy at the back for Newcastle Jets. Bayliss in the midfield as well. Dobson and Rose starts up front. A big night for Newcastle Jets. Mark Milligan, the coach who won the A-League with the Newcastle Jets. Well, the best ranked Australian team. I think it was Auckland who won it, sorry. Auckland in Group F. And well, Everton already knocking the ball out of play. Something Newcastle will probably have to deal with today. Of course, we're not talking about Newcastle as in the... What the hell was that? Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. That's the weirdest throw I've seen in a long time. Here's Bayliss. Chip forward, looking for the ball forward, and Pickford will welcome and say thank you very much. Here's Barry. Wanted White, McNeil. Just a Garner Gay into Tarkowski. Here's Garner. Onto McNeil. Mykolenko onto Garner. Knocked forward. Here's Ilman Ndiaye. Cut back into Dewsbury Hall. Here's Garner. Guay. McNeil. Walked into the area looking for Tierno Barry, but it wasn't quite to be. Picked up form towards the end of last season, Tierno Barry, but it's taken a while. Everton were having centre forward problems for a while, but Iliman Ndiaye, subject of a bid from Saudi Arabia, Al Ali. It's money you can't really turn down, isn't it? He's reinvested in the squad, but need to see. Here's LaRose into Taylor. Dobson played forward for Adams, and Garner gets in the way this time. This group, of course, is tough. Everton widely anticipated Norwegian and Polish opposition. The Europa League group needs to play in. Here's Ilman Ndiaye. Here's Garner again. Everton being held in this first half an hour. It's been an interesting start for these two sides. Well, Hill Dickinson has its second season, of course, after moving away from Goodison Park. There's been talk that if they were to qualify, Everton would play Westie TV Champions League game at Goodison, but that's all in the rumours at the minute. Here's Dobson. Newcastle direct breaking and on the run. Here's Bayliss. In the midfield, Shaughnessy. Otalicio. Nata onto Bayliss once more. Adams to Bertolicio. Dobson. Wide to Bayliss. Here's Burgess. Newcastle Jets looking threatening here. Burgess laid onto LaRose. Taylor, great save by Pickford. Well, that's what you bring him back for. And the first big chance of the day goes to the Newcastle Jets. Adams whipped it wide. Dewsbury Hall's there. The man in die. Played across to Burgess. Now here's Adams again. Burgess entered the area. Tried to cut it back. And Garner. And there's a lot of Australian fans who have made this incredible journey across to the UK. A 24-hour journey. Nearly. And stop over in Dubai to get here. There are some Australian expats who are here, of course. Here's LaRose. Played across to Wilmering. LaRose again. Bayliss. Into the box by Dobson, and that is the half-time whistle. Well, Everton are being held at the break here. This is not what David Moyes will want at the half-time break. But currently, Dewsbury Hall, well, he's singled out by the AR at the start. He's been singled out again. Slow day at the office. Maybe there is more to come in this second half. Half time then, Everton 0, Newcastle Jets 0. Well, as it stands then, Viking Stavanger would top the group if it was ending a draw here tonight, here in Everton. Well, this stadium's coming to host Euro 2028 fixtures in a couple of years' time. Bayliss to Burgess. Well, it would be a big shock if Everton were to concede here. Remember, it comes down to head-to-head. So if Newcastle Jets were to storm the competition and top of the group after match day 2, it might be quite hard for Everton to come back from this one. Taylor chipping it forward, and Pickford with good hands and good save this time. Everton treating this as part of the pre-season. They were unlucky not to qualify for Europe. A lot of analysts were saying last season, but well, they're still here. Vitaly Mikolenko onto Dewsbury Hall. Iliman Ndiaye. Ndiaye down the left-hand side, knocked into Tierno Barry. Good save by Delanov, and that's a great stop from the Newcastle Jets keeper. Branthwaite onto Dewsbury Hall. Ndiaye in the middle looking to support. Bayliss dispossesses Dwight McNeil. Taylor on the ball now into Wilmering. Burgess onto Dobson. Bertolicio. Natasha Shaughnessy. Bertolicio. 25 left to go here at Hill Dickinson. Everton are looking like this is on a knife edge, this game. A goal will decide it, obviously. Dwight McNeil picks up the ball. Poor pass from the midfield. Dewsbury Hall down the right hand side for O'Brien. Wilmering, good pick up on the ball. Here's Dobson. One of the youngest players on their team, and he's doing an excellent job in that midfield. Adams. Bertolicio. Dobson into Bayliss. Wilmering. Taylor. Wilmering on the overlap, and now Flanagan. Bayliss. Played back to Taylor. Dobson. Brought into Burgess again. Here's Adams. Oh! Pickford again making a save. And Tieno Barry. Great turn. Dewsbury Hall. McNeil. Tieno Barry once more. Everton turning defence into attack. And that's filtered out ever so slightly. Taylor. Dwight McNeil onto Barry once more. Dobson dispossesses. He's probably been one of the best players in that midfield today. He's taken Premier League stars all the way to the end. And there's a foul been given. Is it in Newcastle Jets' favour? I think it's offside. Apologies. Well, Beto coming on for Tieno Barry. Taylor coming off as well for Newcastle Jets. And Mizunuma coming on for Taylor at the back there. Garner. Dewsbury Hall to McNeil. Coming to the dying moments of the game now. O'Brien on to Garner. Dewsbury Hall. Garner again in die. Played back to Bertolicio. Adams is on the ball. Adams. That's it then. Everton. Hill Dickinson, and there are boos. Newcastle Jets have pulled off an incredible result. A draw here at Hill Dickinson. And well, Viking Stavanger, Lech Poznan away for both these teams. Everton 0, Newcastle Jets 0.